Don't blink, it's your buying. Also, welcome to the show. Because I'm doing well, because I'm having a wonderful day on this 1st July 2025 Canada Day. How can I forget? We're tasting a special treat for Canada, and we're tasting maple leaf cream cookies, the cookie shop. Now, what is kind of cool is we went to a store last Friday. Today is Tuesday, and that store had a huge discount, and I bought some maple cookies. So maple cookies aren't. I don't buy them a lot because I don't see them a lot. They should be way more popular. What happened is this was a product that was super popular in the past. I thought I bought them like a Friday, and I wanted to keep them for today because it's Canada Day. A maple leaf is on our flag. It's very akin to the tradition. It is a maple. My story with these are extremely funny. Well, first of all, we're gonna be tasting one. I'm actually happy. I don't think I've had one of these in years. It's just not popular. See, apart from Canada, who really likes, well, who would like maple as much as we do, you know? So the filling, first of all, the brand is Cookie Shop since 1950. So nice, 75 years. You can see that there's a lot of filling. So this is your maple leaf, which is on the flag, but also the tree for maple, which is kind of cool. You have a lot of fillings. You can see that the amount of filling is kind of cool, and it's really nice. So the cookie, if I remember correctly, the cookie aren't that tasteful, a bit sweet. Yeah, they're almost like your normal tea cookie. However, there's a bit more. There's a bit more. Grainy, there's a word for that. It's like butter, there's a little bit more. We're going for the filling. The filling is normal fondant with maple. The integration of the maple is actually really nice. You can tell that they made the mix. They added maple flavor when they were mixing it, instead of just adding it at the end. Oh yeah. So it's actually pretty good. Really good. It takes me back years. Really brings back memories. As a kid, we didn't eat Oreos, we ate these. The mixture is amazing. Let's try the cookie. I like the taste of the cookie. Nice maple syrup taste. This is super good. Yeah, I really recommend them. My story. Well, sorry. Really warm outside. I think because we just made a video about our Canadian guilt. I'm French Canadian, so you know. And then, to me, it was a bit like that, right? It was a representative of Canada. So at home, we didn't have a lot of maple product. We have maple syrup for pancakes and waffle. However, with my ADHD, I was only allowed it for it once a week. And it's really funny. It's really, really funny. These, okay, first of all, if you're born in the 90s, if you're born in the early 2000s, everybody had these at their home. They were popular, they were a product from home. This was your Canadian snacks, you know? Which was super funny. So, because we only had maple syrup once a week, when I had maple syrup, I really enjoyed it. However, once a year, we would go to Sugar Shack. Sugar Shack, once again, super Canadian. Sugar Shack is usually in a field of maple trees where you get the maple syrup. So you go there and it's old school. It's like very, very rustic, very wooden home, wooden cottage, very in the forest. And what you would do is you would have some food. The food there is very simple. So we're talking about omelets, sausage, oreille de Christ, which is basically fried lard, which is fucking good. Maple syrup, as much as you can have. When you eat your dinner, you're able to get some cire d'érable. So cire d'érable is what is you cooking the maple syrup at a different temperature, and you put a syrup in the ice, and it becomes quite almost like jelly, but a very strong jelly. So I would say something akin to caramel. Yeah. The texture kind of like caramelly. And you would have these. Now these kind of special because you could only buy that at the Sugar Shack. Why? Oh, it's very simple. So you'd have the guy, and this is a true story. You'd have the guy at a Sugar Shack, and he had like a table full of snow, and he would put the maple syrup on the snow, and in between, and it's very special because when you put the maple syrup on the snow, you have a couple minutes to eat it before it turns very cold. So either it's too hot, either it's too cold. In the middle, you got I don't know how I said in English, cire d'érable. But yeah, that was the only thing. So why am I talking about that while we're tasting maple syrup cookies? It's actually quite simple. Most people had these on their own. We didn't because of my ADHD. And it's funny because this was a Canadian heritage, and I felt like because everybody had them at their own, I wasn't really, following something. And since it was cultural, I was like, holy shit, I'm missing out. So then what will happen is, it's actually a really good story. My father comes from a very numerous family. I told you guys before. He has 6 siblings. So 3 brothers and 3 sisters. Ghislain, Donald, Martin, Lise, Ghislaine, and a sister that's dead. We both have a sister that's dead. And my father. So then what happened is, again, I wasn't. My mom, she's a very social person. She is very, very social. Very social. So she constantly needs to go out. Now, there's a truth to that. When I was younger, I was like, why do you need to go out? And for the longest of time, I was kind of not mad, but I was annoyed. Because like, okay, well, you cannot stay home. Or are we boring? But then you realize that her boyfriend wasn't very social. He wasn't very kind to her. Wasn't very loving. So she felt lonely a lot of the time, right? So when she would go out, it was kind of like a good time for her, finally able to see people after so long, So it was kind of sad. And then yes, she saw people at work, but it was in a work atmosphere, not at home. So then when my parents got married, they live in Lachine. Lachine is very small. So my mom is Egyptian. You guys know that. My mom met another couple, Samir and Silvana. Yeah, Samir and Silvana. And it was kind of cool because my father, with all of his siblings, like I don't need any friends. I got many siblings. So then with my mom, when they were living together, I was from 1 to 6. It was only from my birth to 6 years old that they were together. So it's not a long time. In 32 years, that's less than 1/6 of my life. No, it's a bit more. What happened is, my father was like, oh, let's go see the uncle, let's go see the aunt, let's go see the uncle, let's go see the aunt, right? And my mom, she only had a friend. So she had a friend from work also, but there's something that happened when in a relationship, you're trying to find other friends as a relationship. You're trying to find other couples. And then Silvana's and Samir, they would not kindergarten me, but kind of kindergarten me. They would be like, hey, we'll take care of Steph, And at their home, my mom was like, don't give them sugar. And then Silvana was like, do you know the cool aunt that lets you do stuff? She was the cool aunt that let me do stuff. She's like, come on, he's a kid. Give him a bit of sugar. And what she would give me is maple cookie. And it was kind of cool because they were Egyptian, so it was like their way of being Canadian, you know? It was their way of saying, hey, we live here now, we're gonna have the food that they have here. The food that they have here is maple syrup cookie. So I remember being so denied the sugar that for me, I was like, oh my god, I love these. And the reality is, did I really like them? Not that much, but it was a nice treat. Yeah, and that's it. That's the story. So maple syrup cookie. I wish like I had more of a attachment to it. However, it is so. If you live in Canada, you know the always like fight culturally speaking of French Canadian versus Canadian. I was just in a video on how I felt guilty, you know, and that's pretty much it. Anyway, love you guys. Take it easy. Peace.